to better understand variations, let's think to an everyday example of variation. I recall that variation is something like this. You have a first element, then you keep certain traits of this, certain elements of it, but you change some others. So the first time you can have this, then you can have this, and so on. So for everyday life, let's think about growing up. Growing in general. Growth, that's right. Growth. Yeah, it's more correct. Of what you choose. Let's take a plant, for example. So you just take your seed, you put it inside your container, and then if you take a photo, a picture of this, 1 week later, maybe you already have your first leaf there. And then if you take a photo 2 weeks later, maybe you have 2, and later you don't have 3, but you have these 2 bigger, and so on. So if you take regular photos, if you take pictures at a regular interval, you can see this kind of construction, this kind of structure, more than construction, an evolution in time, in which you just choose to take some instantaneous pictures. And in computer science, so in programming languages, you have something close to this kind of structure, which is the recursion. Recursion, it's a kind of loop, so it's also called a recursive loop. And it can be defined by imagining that you have a function which calls itself. So during its life, this function calls itself, and this calls itself again, and this calls itself, and so on and so on. And of course you need a termination condition, otherwise you're stuck there. But this can be not so intuitive for somebody who sees this for the first time. So a better way may be imagining that a recursive function is something, a recursive loop, call it how you want it. It's something that takes as an input what it gave out as an output. So imagine that we build a function that darkens something. If I give this function a yellow dot, this will be treated and darkened during the life of this function, and at the end I will have an orange one, an orange dot. Then I'll take this orange dot and put it again at the beginning, there, and then this will be darkened again, and so I will have a red dot, which I take again and I put inside. So this is my input now, and later I will have a brownish dot like this, and so on and so on. If you want, it's like a sort of a pasta machine. You know, there's machines where you have stuff there. You turn this, you put your pasta dot there, it passes there, and then it becomes thinner. And then you take this again, and you put it inside, and it becomes thinner and thinner and thinner. So this is a sort of a variation, if you want, or recursive loop for pasta. And so now I invite you, as usual, to explore our variations in music by clicking in this square in our scheme, as usual. So have fun.